Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the English news of Bình Phuoc radio television station and newspaper. I'm with you and following at Atlas as usual. Highlights of Binh Phuoc's socio-economic picture. Hướng Quảng District preserves and promotes ethnic minority cultures. Prime Minister concludes a sovereign visit to the Republic of Korea. Kremlin winning Russian orchestra to perform in Hanoi. Administrative reforms have been comprehensively and effectively implemented with 1,417 public services connected to the National Public Service Portal, ranking 7th out of 63 provinces and cities. This is one of the highlights mentioned at the 15th session of the Binh Phuoc Provincial People's Council held on July 3rd to July 4th.
Also regarding administrative reforms, Binh Phuoc ranked 3rd nationwide in the set of indicators for direction, administration, and assessment of the quality of services provided to citizens and enterprises in the electronic environment, an improvement of 43 places and leads the country in growth pace. In the economic sector, the province's GRDP growth rate for the first 6 months is estimated to increase by 7.76% year-on-year, ranking 2nd in the Southeast region and 18th nationwide. Total social investment capital in the first 6 months is estimated at 16,376 billion Vietnam dong, up 82% from the same period. In culture, society, and education, many positive results have been recorded. Social welfare has been emphasized, improving citizens' living standards. Timely and effective support has been provided to policy beneficiaries, people in poverty, and workers. In transportation, the Binh Phuoc section of the Ho Chi Minh City Thủ Dầu Một Trơn Thành Expressway has been approved for investment. The Gia Nghĩa Đắk Nông Trơn Thành Binh Phuoc section of the North-South Expressway was also approved by the National Assembly on June 28th.
This Mid-Autumn Festival, the National Mid-Autumn Festival in Border Areas program, will take place in the border areas of Binh Phuoc Province. On July 3rd, the political department at Border Guard Command surveyed the location slated for the event in Tân Thành Khăm My, Bù Đốp District.
The 2024 program will include Mid-Autumn Festival feasts, visits, and gifts presenting from party, state, and local leaders to students in Tân Thành and Tân Tiến Commons and to bodyguard stations, as well as cultural performances, magic shows, folk games, and mooncake parties, among others. At the meeting with the local authorities, Colonel Nguyễn Quốc Cường, Deputy Chief of the Border Guard Command's political department, emphasized the program's significance and practicality for children in border areas during this year's Mid-Autumn Festival. He requested relevant agencies to refine the detailed plans to ensure the smooth organization of the program.
More than 21% of the population of Hướng Quảng District in Binh Phuoc Province are ethnic minorities. Over the years, the district has focused on preserving and promoting the cultural customs and artistic practices of each ethnic community, creating a rich and diverse spiritual life for local residents.
To effectively preserve these cultures, Hướng Quản has integrated displays of the ethnic cultural heritages such as costumes, jewelry, and musical instruments into official events. For example, exhibitions of ethnic culture were held at Spring Festival, the Vietnam Fatherland France Congress, the Ethnic Minority Congress, and cultural sports festivals designated for ethnic minorities. Currently, 3 traditional crafts of the Stiang people, including basket weaving, brewing rice wine, and brocade weaving, are carefully maintained in Hướng Quản District. The preservation and development of traditional cultural values have met the growing cultural needs of the people, strengthened the national unity bloc, and positively contributed to the district's socio-economic development.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính concluded his official visit to the Republic of Korea from July 30th to July 3rd, following are the highlights of his activities before leaving the country.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh delivered a policy speech at the Seoul National University. The leader affirmed that Vietnam is willing to cooperate more closely with the Republic of Korea and further develop the bilateral comprehensive strategic partnership for happiness of the two peoples and for peace, cooperation and development in the region and the world. He gave his opinions on the world and regional situations, pointing out to factors influencing the world's future. He also briefed the participants on Vietnam's situation, highlighting achievements the country had gained in its renewal cause. Regarding the Vietnam-Republic of Korea relations, the Vietnamese Prime Minister proposed the two countries prioritize strengthening the foundation of the relationship, effectively carry out high-level commitments and agreements, and intensify cooperation in diplomacy, defense, and security. At the event, the Vietnamese government leader also answered questions raised by the university's professors, lecturers, graduates, and students. Prime Minister Chinh met with leaders of several Korean conglomerates in Seoul, with the latter all expressing their desire to expand investments in Vietnam. The groups such as CJ Group, POSCO Holdings, the Korea Development Bank, LG Display, Daewoo In-C, specialize in technology, electronics, construction, infrastructure development, trade, finance, service, pharmacy, and others. Leaders of the group said they intend to continue channeling capital into Vietnam and hope to continue receiving support from the Vietnamese government. Encouraging the Korean businesses to expand investment in Vietnam, Prime Minister Chinh stressed that the Vietnamese government will continue supporting them in investing, building, and developing projects in Vietnam effectively and successfully, contributing to the country's goals of green growth and sustainable development. On the last day of his official visit, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh visited the Samsung Group's semiconductor complex in Gyeonggi Province. The Prime Minister expressed his impression when witnessing the group's achievements in the field of high technology in general and semiconductors in particular. Prime Minister Chinh affirmed that the Vietnamese government will create favorable conditions for Samsung to continue doing business in Vietnam. Vietnam welcomes and encourages investors in semiconductor technology and AI, the government leader said, adding that Vietnam will also improve relevant policies, develop infrastructure, and pay more attention to the human resources training to serve the semiconductor industry.
During the first 5 months of this year, Vietnam emerged as the top country in terms of market share for textile and garment exports to the United States, surpassing China. According to the Vietnam National Textile and Garment Group, Vietnam also recorded the highest export growth among the world's top 3 exporters in this category.
Vinatex reported that Vietnam's textile and apparel exports from January to May reached approximately $16 billion, marking a 5% increase compared to the previous year. Of this total, exports to the US alone amounted to $6 billion, reflecting a 4% rise from the same period last year. These achievements position Vietnam ahead of China in capturing the largest share of the global market for textile and garment exports to the United States. Among the top 3 global exporters during this period, Vietnam has demonstrated the strongest export growth, followed by Bangladesh and China, according to Vinatex. Looking ahead to the second half of the year, Vinatex anticipates that demand for textiles and garments in major markets may not significantly improve. Consequently, Vietnamese businesses in this sector are likely to face intense price competition.
The Russian National Orchestra will have its first ever concert in Vietnam this October. Their performance will be part of the annual Vietnam Airlines Classic Hanoi concert, organized by the national carrier since 2017.
Under the baton of Spanish conductor Cesar Alvarez, the orchestra will open the event with Vietnam's national anthem, Tiến Quân Ca, the marching song that's been arranged by composer Đỗ Hồng Quân for the symphony orchestra. The orchestra will present a repertoire featuring several other famous compositions by renowned composers. The Russian National Orchestra was founded in Moscow in 1990 by conductor Mikhail Pletnev and is one of the brightest symbols of traditional Russian music. In 2004, it became the first orchestra in the history of Russia's symphony orchestras to receive a Grammy Award. The most prestigious music magazine in Europe, Gramophone, has ranked the orchestra among the world's top 20 orchestras. The concert will take place over 2 nights, October 12th to 13th.
And that's it for this edition of BPTV News. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.